right.
Ooh.
Hey, Catalyst crew. Welcome to Catalyst Corner, episode 26. It's Wednesday, so we've got Partially Proficient on with us, and, yeah, let's get into it.
Oh, yeah.
How you doing, Paul?
I'm doing very well.
Good, good. What do we got today?
A little bit of the Gunner's Daughter Milk Stout. Give that a sip for me right quick. I think that's the best we've had. That's that's very good.
Delicious. What a deep flavor.
Another sip right fast. Yeah, I enjoyed that.
Very good. Yeah, getting into the darker ales as winter approaches.
Yeah, it's a seasonal thing.
Yeah.
You know, it feels appropriate.
Yeah. So how you doing?
You know,
I do.
I've been, I took a little vacation, less for me than the family, but,
How was that?
you know,
Good.
got out of the house, I suppose.
Yeah.
Didn't go to work for a few days. There's
Always nice.
a few benefits to it.
Give you a chance to reset.
You almost get tired of it by the end. In a way,
Yeah, I
nothing
think.
to do. You start repeating things over and over. I'm glued to my phone a little too much. You know what's been bothering me?
What's that?
So I've been on my phone. I'm looking at the news, and like not real news, but dumb internet news recently.
Yeah.
Oh, Elon Musk.
Oh,
He
my
bothers
boy.
the shit out of me.
Yeah,
Your
he's.
boy.
No, he's a douche.
Yeah. And people treat him like a savior.
People treat him like a savior. People treat him like this, Albert Einstein level.
Oh, he's a genius.
Oh,
he's
the smartest
savior.
man. Yeah.
He's in every he's a normal guy just like us. No.
No, he's a troll that has lots and lots of money. His family is fucking insane.
Yeah, he's a maniac.
Oh, he is. You couldn't make him up.
And so he's finally bought Twitter.
Yeah, that they forced his hand though.
Right.
So he somehow came up with the $46 billion, which I can't imagine is easy to do, even for someone like him.
Right. Because, he actually has to have the money.
Right. So he bought it, fired the board, as you do.
Yeah.
And everything he's proposed so far has been a fucking train wreck.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Everyone's like, oh, are you actually serious with this? Like, what was it?
He wants to charge people $20 a month to have the verification.
Oh, yeah, he downed it to being $8, but
Very
even
generous.
still, ridiculous.
I'm a
Because he's like,
generous god.
oh, well, now there would be no peasants and lords.
It's, you know what?
All of you can pay me equally.
I think what's interesting is in the social media hierarchy, at least in my brain, Twitter has always been at the bottom.
Yeah.
So your solution to that is not to innovate Twitter, but just to put, capitalistic, archaic
Paywall it.
paywalls up.
Right.
The man is not as smart as people make him out to
No,
be.
nowhere near it.
No. He didn't
Not to mention
he
he's-
didn't start Tesla. He bought out the owner.
He starts throwing out essentially that he's going to fire half of its workforce, and he's like, yeah, everyone's going to see me as, oh yeah, I'm a hero because I'm terminating hundreds of people from their jobs.
Right. Like who's going to see you as a hero? It's classic villain origin. He doesn't see himself as the villain, but everyone around him does.
Right, but there are those people, those fans of him who are like, oh yeah, I've been censored on Twitter for too long because I post misinformation and just bullshit constantly.
Yeah.
So now my savior of allowing me to just fucking lie on the internet is here.
Yeah, that's what we need is more disinformation on the internet.
Yeah, that's really what's going to fucking save us
Yeah.
all.
Twitter's going to become, just more of a cesspool than
It was
already is.
already a pit.
That's the thing is he's coming in and in his mind, he's the savior of Twitter.
Right.
And it's just everything he's done so far has been a train wreck.
Yeah, everything he posts is just piled on by people being like, wow, what a garbage idea.
Do you know what it is? It's that thing where people see him as a success story
Yeah.
So they think he can just do anything.
Yeah.
And it's just like...
What's his family thing? What was his dad own some sort of mine?
Like an emerald mine or something.
I wanted to say like an emerald mine.
Like very villainous, dude.
Any one of us who had a small emerald mine in the family in Africa could also emulate that success.
Yeah,
what an inspiration.
But take the money out of the equation for a minute.
Yeah.
Right? I don't care how fucking smart you are or at least come off as being.
Right.
He doesn't know how fucking social media companies work.
No.
Right. It's almost like people that have spent years and years understanding this.
He's run multiple companies into the ground.
Right. And it's like
it's just
business.
what he does.
It's not. I just don't understand these people that just think like, oh well, it's just business, and it's like, what?
Yeah.
There's a nuance to it.
He's almost a Trump light. In a
Yeah,
sense.
kind of. Like it's a different flavor.
Yeah.
But it's the same candy.
Yeah, it's the same formula at the end of the day.
I don't know. It's a train wreck. And dude, his family is fucking insane. Like his father is banging his stepsister.
Really?
They have kids.
Huh.
Oh, it's fucking insane.
That's, yeah. All right.
Yeah.
That makes sense how he is the way he is.
He's a marshmallow man too. You've seen him.
Yeah.
He's made of fluff.
Have you seen like the old pictures of him compared to recent too?
Oh,
like
with
all
his
the
like thinning
cosmetic
hair
stuff.
and everything. Yeah,
It's gotten
yeah.
done.
Oh my god,
Pretty funny.
You know what's funny
It's
is he
the
beat
same
Lex
vein.
Luthor. He's Lex Luthor.
Yeah, it's
He'd be bald and everything.
right, but it's the same vein as like the Jeff Bezos.
Yeah, yeah, it is. Dude, billionaires are such a weird class of people.
Oh yeah, you just get all the cosmetic stuff done that you
Well,
like
because
all
you
your
can just-
insecurities
you can
hidden.
just throw money at every problem,
Right.
and so
You're just like, I don't want to feel insecure.
I'm gonna ride my rocket ship to space. No one can make fun of me in space.
No one can No one can be mean to me on Twitter if I own it.
Yeah, I'm the king twit, or whatever the fuck he said. But it's $8 a month now. I would, charge $8 a month, dude.
Watch the platform fail.
Yeah,
It would
It-
be really funny.
it's crazy. It is such a bizarre thing to kind of just sit back and watch. And then he was at that Halloween. You see that thing? He had the fucking like $10,000 armor
yeah.
or whatever. What
He
a
had some
fucking jerk.
insane,
It was like Vlad Dracula's armor. From,
Oh, is that what it's
yeah, it was
supposed to
like
be?
fucking bizarre.
Oh
Like
my
red
God, dude.
armor or whatever. And it's like, it's like a decent used car.
just looking like the villain he
He's
is.
gonna wear it once and then that's it.
Yeah, it's gonna go and like probably right into the trash.
Yeah, he's not keeping that.
No, of course not. No, he's just fucking going there to hang out with
Yeah,
Heidi
it
Klum
gets-
the worm.
Yeah. Oh my god, that was a fucking trip too. She's
Yeah. and
dude.
then-
It's kind of like, have you ever seen like the Hunger Games?
Yeah.
It's like that, like the rich district where they all have the fucking wigs on and shit.
That's what we're living in.
Oh, it's insane.
That's like the world
Dude,
nowadays. Is this the fucking
listen,
hyper rich
I-
are getting weird?
I watched like Inside Edition on YouTube. I played like a clip,
yeah.
and they just were going over like the Heidi Klum Halloween. She does Halloween every year, and I'm watching it, and it made me immediately go, "Oh, what we need is nuclear war."
So like 2 seconds of inside, you see Heidi Klum's like Halloween bash with
No,
Elon.
it's not even so much
And
Heidi
you're like-
Klum. It's the way that they frame it.
Okay, how did they frame it? That
It's just like one that we should be excited about it.
oh yeah,
Right.
this is big.
Right. It's just like Heidi Klum dressed as a worm, and her 18-year-old daughter wasn't afraid to kiss her on the mouth. And I'm just going like, I want nuclear winter.
Right.
Bring it. Bring the death. I'm ready.
Hey everyone, I know we're in a massive economic crisis right now. Housing has gotten out of control, wages are stagnant, lots of union busting going around. But have you seen Heidi Klum's wacky worm costume?
And her daughter's dressed as Catwoman, and she kissed a worm.
And so your thought was, okay, the world needs to be bathed in nuclear fire.
Yeah, I'm like, it just needs to stop.
There just needs to be a hard reset,
Yeah,
you know.
and guess who else showed up to her party? The richest man in the world, Elon Musk, with his $10,000 Vlad costume. And I'm like, yes, nuclear holocaust, I'm ready.
Just looking like a fucking asshole.
Yeah, like, I'm just like, you don't look like a warrior. You look like a pudgy fucking marshmallow man dressed up like a goddamn...
Right. He looks like he dressed up for a game of D&D.
Yeah. He's a LARPer. It's like, oh yeah, you got better gear than everybody else, but you still look like a fucking LARPer.
What an asshole.
Yeah, he's just like looking around. He's, oh, me, Elon Musk. Oh, can I come in you?
Yeah. And you know what? He probably does come in whatever he wants.
You know who else comes? One more for you. You know who comes in whoever they want?
Who's that?
Nick Cannon.
Nick Cannon's coming in, people?
Bro, he has 10 children. He just had his ninth and 10th kid at the same time. He's just running around. People, there's speculation that allegedly he has a breeder fetish, which I didn't even know was a thing.
Yeah.
You can just breed. You can just fetishize the act of breeding.
I feel like that's an anti-fetish.
How?
Because at a base animal level, the act of intercourse is to, create a child. So it's almost like stripping all the fetishization away from it and just being like, yeah, I'm just doing it to make kids.
Yeah, but there's like a weird, he's like, I'm going to make so many fucking kids. I'm going to get you pregnant. Like that.
I don't know, dude.
I don't know. That sounds overtly sexual to me.
Like, are there recordings? Is that what he does?
No. This is all hearsay. It's allegedly.
Or is he just securing his legacy?
Yeah, I mean, 10.
He's going to be like,
He's breeding an army.
Yeah.
Build me an army worthy of Nick Cannon.
I think he's showing his little fucking assistant out. But my lord,
nah.
there is no such force. Yeah, they all look out.
Yeah, the assistant comes. It's like a
Tear
hunchback.
rolls down his fucking cheek.
Gaze upon the beautiful destruction.
Oh, god damn it. I don't know whether I should support Nick Cannon or not. I don't know much about the man.
No, me neither. I just know he's breeding like a motherfucker.
He's just popping kids out, you know? He's just getting them out there in the world.
He's not popping them out, but he's popping them in.
He's
popping them in.
By proxy.
10 kids is a lot.
That's so many.
I don't think I could have 10 friends.
A little bit of a different statement, but yeah.
No, I mean, like, I don't think I could give 10 people, my attention.
Adequate social interaction to maintain the relationship.
Never mind children.
No, I have one, and that's so much work. Though yeah, but he's not working.
No, I know, but is it one of those things where it's like, after the 5th one?
Yeah, you just start to really have it down.
At that point, they're just numbers.
Oh, maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe, dude.
Christ.
So, here's something I wanted to talk about for a minute. You hear about, I know you've heard about this, the change in casting on The Witcher.
So, Jim F0123 Art and I on the last episode talked about how one of the writers of the original season 1, left.
Really?
And he's now writing the reboot of X-Men 97. So they're bringing back the cartoon.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Nice.
And he's the showrunner now.
Cool.
And he said that he was going to, like, part of the requirements to work on the show is that you have to love X-Men 97. Because he's worked on a show where the requirement was you have to hate the source material, and the interviewer pushed him, and he was like, yeah, The Witcher.
Wow.
So Lauren Hurst, was hiring writers that hated the video games and the books.
Interesting.
So last week we were talking about this, and we film on Thursdays, so it was before the news broke.
Gotcha.
And I said on the episode, Netflix, you should really look at who's running your show and maybe take a step back.
Right,
and then
right.
2 days later, Cavill announces that he's leaving. classy way to do it.
Right, sure.
And it's like the only reason he's leaving is because he probably was unhappy with how season 3 was filmed.
Yep.
And the direction that they were going for season 4.
Right.
And so he bailed.
Because he's a huge fan of the source material.
Right. Everything that's good about the show, he had to fight to keep it in.
Now, this is very affirming for me.
Okay.
So I've got a hot take here, and it might bear some explanation, but I'm happy that. No, I'm not happy that went that way with Witcher.
It ruined my day.
But I think that, and this is the hot take here, I think that some gatekeeping is a good thing. Now, okay. Hear me out.
Yeah, why don't you flesh that out a little bit?
Yeah, I know, because I'm going to flounder here. No. So, honestly, I think a lot of times when you take properties, niche properties, The Witcher, a lot of fantasy stuff nowadays is getting this treatment. Lord of the Rings, yeah, to probably a lesser extent, but still. And you try to open things up and make it appeal to the most broad audience and say, oh, well, now it's accessible to everyone. Things lose their individual flavor. They no longer appeal to the audiences who originally elevated them and really loved them. And I don't think that what they gain back is the general appeal that makes up for it.
So I think the trouble with it is this, is that, and I say this on the episodes with Jim all the time, I think diversity is incredibly important.
Sure.
And I think it works very well in Dune. Did you see Dune?
Yes, I love Dune.
Perfect way to do diversity. It had a completely diverse cast, right?
Right.
And it wasn't an issue. Nobody was making a big deal out of it. It was just, this is the world we live in.
Right.
When it becomes an issue is when you have, well, this is ours now. And if you don't like it, tough shit. Well, we're not making this for you. It happened with She-Hulk. She-Hulk tanked. Mm-hmm. It happened with Lord of the Rings. They fired the showrunners because they didn't care about the source material. That was the whole thing, is that they had that actor who played Disa running around on interviews talking about how this is ours now. And it's like, well, it's everybody's.
Right.
And it happened on The Witcher, because if you stop and break The Witcher down, the good scenes, the best scenes in the show are Cavill and Ciri, or Cavill hunting monsters, or Cavill and Dandelion.
And even talking about the inclusion and diversity, which is important. You look at the early season of Witcher, I mean, maybe it's not on a grand scale, but you had characters like Triss, and no one had really any complaints about that.
Her hair, and they fixed it in season 2.
Right. She's fine.
And she plays Triss phenomenally.
Right.
And I even think Yennefer is not book accurate, but she plays the role.
Right. Perfectly fine.
And the issue that
So
it comes down to is basically Cavill said, I want to be a producer on the show. Mm-hmm. And they said no.
Interesting.
So he bailed, right? And so this is the disconnect that I don't understand. If I'm Netflix, right, I don't care who you are at Netflix. Yeah. There's no way that your head is that far up your ass. People are watching the show.
Right.
I'm watching it because it's Witcher. Mm-hmm. But I'm the minority. People are watching it because it's Henry Cavill.
Right. He's a big name. He's Superman.
But it's not just that. He's excited to play the role. So every interview he's on talking about it,
he's huge. He's super into it.
Right. And so now we're getting Liam Hemsworth. That's your fucking answer?
Yeah, that's the replacement.
The only way they could have salvaged it is if they went with an older actor and just did a time jump.
Right, and said, "Oh, now he's older." Right, but
they can't because they don't respect the source. This is what I'm talking about, respecting the source material.
Again, to go back to what I was saying is that I think gatekeeping on people's individual interests and everything. Now, I'm not saying chase everyone away. Oh, you didn't read the first book when it was published. Get out. You're not a real fan. No, I'm not talking about that.
If you show up to the interview and you're like, no, I hate The Witcher and I hate the games. Like, I want to make it something I would watch. It's like,
right.
What?
I like keeping the integrity of materials intact. Where they're still true to the original spirit or themes of, the source material, whether it's movies, shows, books, whatever the medium may be.
I think it's always been an issue with Hollywood, right? There's always been this kind of underlying issue of Hollywood making these weird changes, but it's always been relatively light. Like maybe they change a character design or they do a gender or a race swap. Like generally not a huge deal. But what's happening is you're crossing this line where it's like, well, even though, the mages aren't the best part of The Witcher, we're really going to focus on that.
Right.
And it's like, but that shit's fucking boring because nobody wants to watch a political drama. We want to watch Henry Cavill kill monsters.
Right. We want to see him take the different serums and
the best part of the Witcher games is fighting the monsters.
Yeah, but that's not what that one particular person who was never a fan of it wants.
And the problem is it keeps happening. It happened with the Lord of the Rings show.
Right.
They had him on. Colbert was asking them questions before it came out. And Colbert's a lunatic with Lord of the Rings.
Right, he's huge on it.
And he's lobbing them softball questions that they can't. He's not like going into the lore. He's just lobbing them softballs, and they can't answer them. And it's just like, it doesn't work. The whole reason that the Peter Jackson stuff worked is because everybody was a fan of the work.
Right. They all read it beforehand. And were like, oh, this is great.
Right. And they all respected the source material instead of... And you saw it with Velma, right? The Velma commercial. Like,
oh my God, let's not even go back at it.
The commercial was just, why change anything? And it's like, you're missing the point.
Right.
I don't care if Velma, if you've taken yourself and inserted yourself into the role of Velma.
Right.
But make make sure it's still Scooby-Doo.
Right.
That's the point of it.
I think most people would have been totally fine with it, with all of the race swaps that happen to the characters. I don't think anyone really cares about that. I think most people care about
anyone that's not a piece of shit.
Sure. You're right. There is going to be the loud minority of people who are going to be mad because Shaggy's not black, but most people don't care.
None of that mattered.
Right.
As long as he's Shaggy.
Exactly. The vast majority of people care that you didn't call him Shaggy. You called him, what's his actual name?
Orville or whatever.
Right.
Those are the type of changes
there is no Scooby, and that you're clearly going out of your way to be contrarian to people who love the original shows or grew up on it.
But what they seem to miss is that this is not a new phenomenon. Anytime they make changes, like, did you see The Killing Joke, the animated movie?
No, I didn't see the animated one.
So it's very, very true to the source material, except for the first 40 minutes where Batman fucks Batgirl.
Yeah.
What?
Well, he had to.
Right, but everyone says the same thing. The first half an hour is really dumb, but the second half an hour is really good.
People aren't interested in the old Batusi?
No.
Oh, okay.
So it's just, and listen, they came out, they said Batman doesn't eat ass.
No.
So you remember that.
Oh, yeah, I do remember that. He wouldn't.
No. Bruce Wayne does.
Bruce Wayne absolutely does.
Yeah, but not Batman. He can't. He's too focused on fighting crime.
Yeah. It's an image thing.
It's just really frustrating to me, and it's ruining these properties that I really care about.
Sure. And again, to go back to what
I think you cancel The Witcher. I don't think if he's
I think it's dead in the water.
Yeah, you'll get a fourth season. There is not even shitting on Liam Hemsworth, right? Even though I don't think he's a good actor, but
sure, the lesser of the Hemsworth.
Sure, right. The only reason you're here is because we like your brother,
right?
But even taking that aside, I don't think there is anything that he could bring to that role. that Henry Cavill left on the table.
No, he's always going to kind of live in that shadow.
And it's just like, you can't do it.
No, I agree. And, again, I'll wrap up with my whole thing. It's like, to brand to a different medium. If you were to take a game, like, say, a Dark Souls series, since something we're both very intimately familiar with, we have a deep love for it.
I do.
And you were to...
It's like a masochistic love.
Make the game significantly easier.
Like add an easy mode.
Right. If you were to add difficulties,
that
if you were
it takes something away from it.
Right. It would be a move to mass appeal that would ruin the actual core of what makes something great.
Right. Because honestly, like the biggest draw about Dark Souls is winning.
Right.
Because no one wins at first.
Sometimes what makes something great is also what makes it niche.
Right.
And when you try to make the move towards general appeal, you destroy the core of it.
Sure. But I think if they would follow the
That's
template,
my little thesis statement.
if they would follow it correctly,
yeah.
You would get mass appeal.
Sure.
Like if Witcher was truer to the source material, you would have people like me excited about it. Right?
Right.
And then I'm going to talk to my circle and get them excited about it because I'm excited about
Sure. If Game of Thrones proved anything, it's that the general public can get excited for people with swords fighting monsters.
Right.
People like
House
that.
of Dragons is killing right now.
Right. So
even though Matt Smith doesn't have any eyebrows.
Even though he doesn't have any eyebrows.
It's still killing.
You don't got to reinvent the wheel. You don't have to try to make it a political drama about...
It's just weird. It's just like, if you want to make your own fucking thing, make it.
Right, make your own fucking thing.
But stop. You can't have your cake and eat it.
People get too attached to being... They want to make their own thing, but they want to be able to attach a recognizable title to it. That way it has an immediate viewership. But it does that they don't realize is that immediate viewership is going to sour on it very quickly once it becomes not what they were expecting.
So I plan on watching season 3.
I don't.
Oh, I will. It's Cavill. I'm going to watch season 3. And then I'm done.
Yeah, fair enough. Fair enough.
And I'm disappointed because I honestly thought it had the makings to be something great.
Yeah.
So, thanks, Laura.
Yeah.
Appreciate
that. Let's move. There's better stuff out there, though. There's still things out there for the likes of us. You been watching anything else on Netflix lately?
Yeah, so I caught I watched Cabinet of Curiosities.
Okay, I watched a little bit of that.
Guillermo del Toro's Cabinet of Curiosities.
Guillermo
del Toro.
Yeah, Del Toro.
Geraldo of Riviera.
Yeah. That's exactly it.
Yeah.
What'd you think?
So, how do you feel about Guillermo in general?
Okay, we're going to go back to hot takes here then. I'm personally not a big fan of him.
Really?
I think that he is a good director. I think...
How do you feel? All right,
let me explain.
Take the story element out because I don't think he's a great... I don't think his stories are great, but I will say one thing I think he is phenomenal at is creating an aesthetic.
So, okay, here's what I'll go with off of that. I agree with you. He's very good at... He's very stylized.
Yeah, it's a lot of style over substance, I think.
His stories, I think, are okay. They're good surface-level tales for the most part. What I really struggle with is oftentimes he's viewed as like a horror director or that, he's going to make some new scary thing. And he just loves to show. He loves to show rather than tell.
You know what his problem is? His problem is he loves Lovecraft, but he loves to show it. And it's like, yeah, but the whole Lovecraftian idea is
horror of the unknown.
Exactly. And but that's a big misconception, right? Is people think Lovecraft is just tentacled squid monsters.
Cthulhu and squid monsters and all that, right?
Lovecraft wrote traditional horror as well.
Right.
It's not just cosmic.
The problem is he likes to show. And as soon as the monster's on screen, you can see it and you can understand it. It loses that mystique, that real fear.
Well, it's hard. It's hard for and we've covered this. Folk horror, I think, is the opposite.
Right.
But for most other horror, including cosmic, as soon as you see it, you can put a face to a name and it loses its power.
Right.
But I caught it all.
Okay, I only caught a little bit of it so far.
The first one I thought
and
was...
I do plan on going back for what it's worth.
All right. The first one I thought was okay. You know.
Okay.
Now, just to kind of preface this, it's 8 episodes.
Sure.
And there's a different director for each episode.
Right. Isn't it Guillermo himself that does
he did the first
one? Right,
yeah.
right.
And then the next 7 are different directors.
And it's noticeable. It's noticeable in the first one. Again,
sure, he's
same
got a
deal.
very... it's very interesting because when I was watching it, right, and it takes place in like a storage unit.
Yes, that's the one.
I almost got like Crimson Peak vibes
Okay.
to it. Just the claustrophobia that he kind of painted.
Sure.
I thought it was an interest. The acting was great.
Right. I'd actually say overall, I enjoyed it.
Yeah, it's a decent short. Like, look, it
was
as
a
far
very-
as here's what I'll say. As far as horror anthologies go, I think it's very good.
Yeah.
There
Okay.
are some weak ones.
I would say that that's fair because if you compare it to its contemporaries, like the how do you call it?
The Mortuary's Assistant,
Not Mortuary Assistant. It was on Shudder recently.
Creepshow.
Yes, the revamped Creepshow.
Creepshow's a little campier, though. I think this
It is a
takes
bit,
itself a
yeah.
bit more seriously.
Yeah, I got the same impression. I appreciate that. I like horror that takes itself seriously every now and again.
So I would say, there are 8, right? And I would say
Right.
4 of them are very good.
Right. And the ones that aren't are still okay. They're
Yeah,
not, they're not bad.
I think you got to take it for what it is. There is some Lovecraftian stuff, which is good. I mean,
Right. I can appreciate that.
Graveyard
I can get
Rats.
into
I
it.
really liked the aesthetic of it. I thought it was like you had that old time like kind of Salem,
Right. Right.
back in the day sort of thing. A lot of practical effects, which I love.
Oh yeah, you're gonna love a practical
The autopsy
effect.
is fantastic. I thought that was a really good one. And then they did H.P. Lovecraft story Dream in the Witch House with fucking Ron Weasley was in it.
No kidding. I
Yeah, you
haven't watched
seen
that one.
yet.
No.
Yeah, Ron Weasley.
Oh yeah.
That one.
Rupert
Listen,
Grint.
you have to look at that one as a.
Why do I know that name off the top of my
Well,
head?
you're a Ron fan.
Yeah, Big Rupert. I think it's Grint. Rupert Grint.
You see his nipples.
Do you?
Oh yeah.
I've been waiting on that.
I know. You've always wondered.
Yeah, we've had many private conversations.
It's good. It's kind of like that. There's almost a dark comedy to it in a way.
Okay.
So it's good. It works.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to getting through it.
Yeah.
I mean, again, I'm not a huge fan of the guy's works in general, but I would never call him a bad director.
No.
I don't think he is at all. It's not necessarily my tastes always, but with it all being different directors, I'm sure there's going to be some that really stand out nice for me.
The aesthetics though throughout are fantastic.
Production value looks really high as well.
Yeah. So I mean,
So
like
that's good.
there is
Right.
there is a bit there for
Right.
sure. It's not perfect, but
What is?
right.
You know what? And again, I don't want to get off topic too quickly, but I struggle a lot because nowadays people tend to hype things a little too much.
Yeah.
'Cause I had a lot of people ask me to watch Cabinet of Curiosities and all that. And another big one that I had people talking to me about and saying, oh my God, it was the greatest thing of all time was Barbarian.
I enjoyed it.
I did as well.
I don't think it was the greatest thing of all time.
No.
You know what? You know who directed that?
No, I don't.
Did you ever watch The Whitest Kid You Know?
Yes.
Zach.
No kidding.
Yeah.
But it's his.
Yeah.
Huh.
So as a first fucking run,
No, that's a very respectable first outing.
you know why I liked it? And I think this is why people give it more credit than it deserves. Mm-hmm. Because it does subvert your expectations. Because in the first 30 minutes of the movie,
Right.
let's do, you know what? We're going to do spoilers for Barbarian right now.
Right.
We're gonna
Spoiler
talk
alert.
through this, so
We're
spoilers
gonna
on
go
this.
off.
You think it's going to be like, she gets there and fucking, She basically, the premise is she Airbnbs a house right in Detroit.
Oh yeah, just terrible neighborhood.
Which hits me because I was in Detroit last year.
Yeah, I know.
Oh yeah,
I know. That was your thing.
Oh my god, and it's Oh yeah. And when she gets there,
there's someone already there.
Right, basically, there's somebody already there, and it's fucking Pennywise the dancing clown, for Christ's sake, Bill Skarsgård.
Yeah.
And he's a little odd.
Yeah, I would say he's a little awkward.
Right, but there's almost I think the genius of it, right, is that he plays it where he's socially awkward.
Right, it plays the line of, is this guy just awkward
or is he dangerous?
There's something here.
So that's a testament to Bill in his acting, because I was like, okay, there is
for sure, he's very good.
There is something there, right? But it's just the question is he just awkward, or is he want to chop her up and make her into stew?
Right, eat him.
So, whatever. The premise is a little unbelievable, right? She can't get a hotel room. Like, it's 20 fucking... Like, there's no hotel rooms.
No, it was a conference in town.
Right, okay.
Yeah.
There's a conference in town. Got it.
Sure. And I'll say, there's multiple elements throughout the film that kind of give you that moment of like, okay, really? Like, there's later on down the line, she calls the cops to get some help, and they are so instantly confrontational. And I'm not saying that you don't get cops like that, but
but they want us as the audience to just be like, oh, well, it's Detroit. They deal with this shit every day. And it's like, sure, I get what you're trying to say, but she's not acting like she's on drugs.
Right. They're not trying to, like, take a report or anything. They're like, get out of here, you crazy homeless woman.
Right. But anyway, so the first half an hour, it's this very tense dance, right, of just who is this guy Keith? Is he is he going to kill this woman? And so, you kind of have that sequence where her door opens mysteriously, right?
Right. He's having the night terror.
And he's having a night terror. And so I didn't really understand that. I didn't know what they were trying to convey with the door opening.
Well, okay. Again, spoilers alert.
Yeah. I mean, well, before, is it just she opened the door?
Right, because she comes out at night.
Okay, so like she came into the house and like
she's
opened
picking
the door.
up. She's like, I want some new kids. Let's get them down there.
So anyway, I thought that was fine. And then the minute that I knew Keith was a good guy, like was when he was annoyed that she woke him up.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, all right, no, it ain't him.
Very human. Yeah, what are you doing?
Right. He's like, what the fuck are you... Like, he was, like, startled.
You're weird.
Right.
What are you doing?
So as soon as that happened, I was convinced that he was not the villain of the show. My partner, to the credits, was like, I think Keith was up to something.
What?
I know! So, anyway...
My boy, Keith, I identified with him immediately. Let me talk to you about the connection I had with Keith. Is so when Keith... Yeah, he's an awkward guy. I'd like to think I'm a bit of an awkward guy. I don't like to think...
Social's tricky.
It can be hard to navigate, especially he's in a weird situation with it all. He starts to talk to her, and he's like, oh, yeah, I'm a part of this group. She's like, wow, that's so cool. And he's like, yeah, I'm not the guy, but I'm one of the guys.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, that's me. I'm not the guy, but I'm one of the guys.
Do you know what I liked him?
I immediately put myself in his shoes. 10 minutes later, he's getting his skull caved in on a wall, and I'm like, no!
Do you know when I liked him? When he was like, I didn't open the wine because I wanted you to see me open it. I was like...
Very relatable.
As soon as he said that, I was like, I relate with this guy so hard.
Right.
Because, again, I'm 6 feet tall. I have a miserable look on my face. Like, I understand it comes across as uncomfortable to some people.
Right.
So I was like immediately like, yeah, Keith's my boy.
Yeah, so definitely. And okay, again, I don't want this to be misconstrued as I didn't like Barbarian. I thought Barbarian was a very fun movie to watch. I don't know that it deserves the credit it's getting, per se, because it's a very straightforward film, wouldn't you say?
Yeah, I would say so. I mean, it's very much like The Hills Have Eyes.
There's nothing wrong with that, but it's not reinventing the genre. It's the
subversion. It's the subversion is what it is.
Some of the acting is a little hit and miss towards the second half.
You know what I will say, though, is if you go in blind, I went in blind.
Yep.
I had no fucking idea.
Yep.
So that caught me off guard. I think. You know,
for sure. I didn't really know what was the
it's got
premise
you know,
of the
the
movie.
name.
Either.
I was like, the fuck is this?
Right. It's because it's the street Barbary.
Right. I get it now, but I'm just like, I had no idea. I was like, barbarian. What is there going to be some violence?
Yeah, there's gonna be a barbarian.
But
in there.
anyway, so she gets locked in the basement
Right.
because of course she does.
Right. Yeah, that'll happen.
Right, as it does, and she finds a secret fucking door. Like, this is where it starts to become unbelievable to me.
Why is that?
Are you going in the room?
100%.
So am I.
Every time.
I know, it's the Wonderland thing.
Are you shitting me?
No.
I find a secret
Yeah, you
door
have to go.
that leads into a tunnel
Oh,
with
listen,
underground
the only
mysteries.
thing I thought was weird is that Keith, like, I assumed he was, like, trying to get a relationship going with her because he was, like, very adamant about her not leaving.
Well, okay. I don't know that that's necessarily the only way to interpret
I don't know.
that.
It was just very strange because she's like, dude, I'm good.
Oh, you mean when they found the room?
Yeah, and he's like, no, just wait a minute. Just wait a minute. And
Well,
it's like,
okay. With that one, I could see it as like, he's like, well, if there's a scary secret room, I don't want to be alone in the house if, like, I go down there and something's
yeah, but if
up.
she's that upset, like,
Well, yeah. Okay, so what would I say in that situation? I'd be like, hey, wait up here just for like 5 seconds.
which
I'm
is
going to take a look.
actually what he said.
Exactly what he says, right. So
Yeah.
I don't find that unbelievable at all.
Yeah. So he goes in
right.
and he disappears.
Yeah.
And she throws caution to the wind.
Right.
She's like, I'm not going back down there.
Right.
Keith?
Yeah. And goes immediately back down.
back down there.
Yeah, she was very heroic in this movie.
Oh, yeah.
She's like, I got to save the people.
So she goes down there, and they find the room. They find this. There's like an offshoot. There's a bed and a camera. I'm looking at
Little
it.
bloody
I'm getting like
handprints on the wall.
Serbian film vibes.
Yeah,
and I'm like,
a little
oh,
bit.
this is not good.
It's a bad place.
You don't want to be here. And Keith is gone.
One thing that the movie does, and I don't want to skip forward too much, is it jars you. Where
Yeah.
it'll be
it plays on your
going
paranoia.
through what's happening and events are going on in sequence really fast, and that just snaps to a different thing altogether.
I could not. I got to be honest with you. So when she goes to the second room, she finds the secret
Right.
room, and she comes across Keith, and he's panicking.
Yep.
I still wasn't convinced he wasn't. I was like, oh no, like, why is he trying to go back towards whatever bit him?
No, he was trying to go the other way. He said whatever bit me was the other way.
Right, but she, like, you're just panicking because the music is going on a swell, and then
Right.
all of a sudden,
Yeah.
this like 6 foot tall.
6 foot.
What is she?
She's
7
like
foot.
7 feet
This
easily.
behemoth, naked creature comes out and just Gallagher's his head against
Yeah.
the wall.
Smushes him. Yeah.
Dead. Fantastic.
Right. And yeah, again, that's the person I was identifying with. I'm like, oh no, not Keith.
And then we meet Justin Long.
Yep. Justin Long pops up.
Played a great douchebag.
Justin Long is good in that role as just a douche.
Yeah, he plays a douche.
Very well. But it works very good for this movie.
How funny was it when he's like measuring and he finds the room?
Oh, it's so fun.
And his reaction is just like square. He's like, "What the fuck?" And you think it's gonna be like the moment of clarity, and he just Googles like, "Can I add this to the square footage?"
Because he's facing the legal problems. He wants to sell a house. He's like, this is square footage to my home.
Oh my god! And he's getting
He
like
finds
more
the
excited.
extra hallway. It goes down deeper, and he's like, "Oh my, this house is a gold mine."
Yeah, it's in a fucking rundown neighborhood. He thinks he's gonna strike it rich. So good, so good.
It was very funny.
It had element. There was just there were some Evil Dead vibes to it in a way.
Yeah. I can see where you're coming from with that.
I got to tell you, the scene that sold me was when she made it out of the house and the chick was in the window.
Right.
What a scene.
Oh yeah.
Oh.
So that was pretty good. I enjoyed the movie overall. And they
I'd
do.
say it's a solid like B movie.
Yeah. Justin Long's character throughout it, he plays his role very well.
How'd you feel about the ending?
I liked it. I like that it ended exactly when it did.
Yeah, me too. I don't think you needed more.
No more than that.
No, the story was told.
It hits the credits. It puts the brakes on the movie. It says, "All right, that's the story. You're done." And I'm like,
right.
Great.
There is no more story,
Great.
right? It's done.
Right. Spoilers again. She kills the monster.
Done.
You don't see her going
not
to the
another
cops,
monster.
like walking away or, returning to her life, because you don't need that.
No,
You don't.
There's not another monster waiting. It's just done. It's done.
Right. The monster's gone. She's alive. That's it.
Right.
Yeah. No, I like that quite a bit.
I liked it.
Right.
I don't know why people are like saying it's the new, whatever.
Right. And to go back, I guess, a little bit towards the Cabinet of Curiosities, I kind of felt the same way from what I've seen of it so far. I don't think it's groundbreaking or like the best thing of all time. It's not reinventing the horror genre, but it's a good addition.
Right.
There's a lot of stuff recently that I've been,
I think that's what I'm okay with that. If you're not, I don't need you to change the game as long as what you bring to the table is good.
Right. You know what? I'm gonna stay on this kick for a bit more. We're gonna talk about this. You saw Terrifier 2.
I did.
That is what I would consider a step forward in horror.
I would too. No, I said this. I talked to Jim about it just a little bit.
Right.
I thought it was too long.
Okay. Yep. I agree
thought it
with
was
that.
about 35 minutes too long.
Yep. I can see that.
But Art the Clown is
Right.
our generation's Jason.
Yep. That's actually exactly what I wanted to go on for. The film itself is far from a perfect film. I enjoyed it quite a bit as a huge horror fan. I love slashers, everything like that.
It might be the longest slasher movie ever.
It's a made-for-me kind of movie.
Yeah.
But disregarding that, Art the Clown is like the only true addition to like the pantheon of slasher icons, in my opinion, in the past 20 years.
Yeah, I think he can hang with the rest of the crew.
He can.
I don't know. Victor Crowley, I don't think really does.
He's not defined enough compared to everything else. You know what he is? He's a Jason knockoff.
Played by Jason.
Right. He's the same thing. Now, could you say that Art the Clown is similar to Pennywise? Surface level, yeah, they're both clowns. They both kind of derive some sort of sadistic
They're both clowns.
joy from fear type
but
of thing.
Pennywise is a fucking
But the way
eldritch
it's
being.
played is totally different. Right. One's an eldritch being. The other is kind of a demon in this one. Now. But there's just so much more to it. It's hard to put into words, but the way that they each act is entirely different.
Do you know what it is? Is he's almost got like the Freddy Krueger. You remember Freddy from the first movie? He was
Right.
a horror guy, right?
Yep.
And then as it kind of progressed, he became more of a comical, campy character.
Right.
There's almost an element of that campiness to him,
Right.
but then there's also like he feels more dangerous than like when I would watch a Freddy movie. Like you're rooting for Freddy.
Right. He's your guy. The
You're
teenagers are the fodder.
You're not rooting for Art.
No.
I'm not.
No. He's a monster.
He is.
But
he makes you feel uncomfortable.
what's funny, and literally so, is that he also makes you laugh.
Oh, I laughed more than once.
Like he does the role as a clown, and I wish I could remember the actor's name who portrays him in this film in the last one, but he does so much acting with just his expressions.
I love that he's carrying around a trash bag of awful.
That's his thing. I love the trash
He's
bag.
just got a trash bag, like a fucking hefty trash bag,
Yeah.
full of like sadistic tools of torture.
Like he's made like some like spiked club that he's got in there and everything.
Oh my god, dude!
Good for him.
It's fantastic.
Oh, he's a phenomenal character.
Yeah, I think we're gonna see him end up in the pantheon of horror icons.
I love the way that Damien Leone structured the movies, where he's trickle feeding more info about what or who the character is.
I just hope
It's
for
very-
3, because there's definitely going to be another one. I just hope it's not as long.
I agree. It's very like early Friday the 13th, early Nightmare on Elm Street type of like lore
Yeah, it's very
exposition.
grindhousey in a way.
I love it. I love
There's
it.
not too much.
So good.
There's not too much like that right now.
No.
You know, and he obviously he doesn't shy away from the
The violence.
violence.
Of the no, if you've watched the newest one, it is just gratuitous at points. But I love it.
There's a movie on Shudder. It's called like Death Game or something.
Right.
Have you seen that?
I don't think I have. I've been meaning to watch a few things on there.
Yeah, I'll get you the actual name, but it basically the gist of it is these teenagers start playing this fucking board game, and they have to kill people to stay alive, and if they don't, before the timer runs out, one of their heads explodes.
Oh, that's fun.
Yeah, goofy, right?
Yep.
It might have had the best practical effects I've ever seen.
Wow. It's
It's li-
very high praise.
I know. It's like not a great film or anything like that, but the violence seems so real. I was just like, holy shit, like they don't even have a budget. How did they do this?
I might have to watch it just
yeah,
for
I'll
that.
give you the name and you have to tell me what you think.
Yeah, 100%.
But no, Art the Clown is my guy.
Oh,
You
yeah.
know? Love him.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
No, I honestly, I love him. I think he's the best.
Give me some recommendations. I'll see if I can fire one or two off at you.
So, let me see. If I were to go for recommendations, one thing you can find on Shudder,
Still don't have a code, by the way.
I know.
You know?
Hey, get
It's,
back to us, Shudder.
It'd be nice.
on.
It would be nice.
Is Deadstream. Now, it's not a perfect movie. It's not going to be for everyone. It's definitely on the goofier side of horror. But if you're into like an Evil Dead type of vibe, the latter half of the movie leans very hard into that. It's
You know what I liked
Evil Dead
about it?
2, Army of Darkness, goofy monster versus protagonist action.
The main,
I had a lot of fun
The main
with it.
character at the beginning sucked,
Yeah.
and then he became endearing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's Evil Dead.
It is Evil Dead.
Which is why I think it was a fun watch. It just plays with that the whole time, and I enjoyed it quite a bit.
Yeah, that was a solid one.
So that would be my recommendation of things I've seen recently, other than the things we talked about, of course.
I would say Game of Death is the one that I was telling you about. That's
Okay.
a good one. And then I don't know if you've heard of this one, but I watched one called Glorious.
I have been sitting... I've been wanting to watch that. I've been sitting on it for a little bit.
I'd give it a watch. It's good. It's fun.
It's enjoyable.
It's fun.
All
It's
right.
fun. The gist of it is basically this guy goes into a rest stop bathroom or whatever, and there's like an eldritch being in one of the stalls, and the only way he's going to release him is if
Yeah.
he uses the glory hole.
Yeah, there's a glory hole to an Eldritch
Oh,
Beast.
it's so good.
Yeah, that's definitely one that I might end up watching that tonight. I'm gonna probably get home and watch a few horror movies because I'm just big on them. Love them.
Yeah, you got to. All right, so
Yeah.
with that, I think we'll wrap this one. We'll put this one to bed. Paul, as always, thanks for coming on.
Oh yeah, of course, man. It's always good to
So-
be by.
That's it. Episode 26. My goodness, we're moving through these.
Yeah. Well, for a
Getting
quarter of
into
the way
our
to 100.
getting into our mid 600s on orders on the store. Got the Christmas line coming out now. So
Yeah. Buy a shirt.
yeah,
but,
buy,
You think this is free entertainment? It's not. Go on the store now. You spend $25 minimum.
yeah, help us out here.
That's what you do.
Catalyst Creations NH is the
You
Etsy store. CatalystCrafting.com is the main website. We're on all the other social medias. And let me know what you guys think. How do you feel about Elon buying Twitter? Do you think it's going to work out for him? What about Henry leaving? Do you think The Witcher's dead in the water? Have you seen Barbarian? Is it a horror masterpiece? Are you a fan of Art the Clown? Let me know in the comments. All right, crew. I'll catch you on the next one.